Welcome again to the Sustainability Podcast. I'm very excited today to be joined by Mathieu Cura of Optimistic. Mathieu, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Let's kick this off with, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the industry in which you work in?
Okay, so myself, I'm an engineer and I started my career in process manufacturing industry, more precisely in fermentation industry.
Okay.
And after, I would say, 15 years in operations, I started with two other associates, the company Optimistic, with one idea to widespread the use of data within industrial organization.
Interesting. So, what challenges, let me ask Optimistic, what products do they have? What do they do?
Oh, so very simple. We are a software editor. So we edit an industrial data platform, a solution that we deliver in software as a service or private cloud delivery that targets process manufacturing industries, mainly mid and large caps.
Okay. So for our audience that might not be domain experts in the industry, you offer a transport mechanism, correct?
It's mainly, okay, so what we do is three things. It's collect data from different sources on the industrial sites. Could be from the OT side, so from the automated system, the supervision, but also from other systems like MES, ERP, etc. So the idea is to collect as much data as possible to aggregate them. The second thing we do is this data, in order to use them, you need to have to structure them in a way that makes sense with your business and with the physical reality of the industry. So we have a standard data model that suits the need of process manufacturing industry, with typically time series for sensors, traceability for batch tracking, equipment cycles tracking, etc. So we have several data models for that, standardized. And the third thing is to offer a set of business app on top of that can be used easily by anybody within the organization. The idea behind is to make people able to build their own use case with our solution without requiring assistance from IT or OT department.
Thank you. That was clear and very insightful for me. So I'm interested in those highest level business models. Can you go through those one by one and describe what applications they target?
Okay, so the idea behind what we offer is to offer a wide range of apps that are able to answer the different topic and industrials want to tackle, like productivity, raw material efficiency, energy efficiency, reduction of environmental emissions, things like this. So to do that, you need to look at the data with different angles. Typically for productivity, it's OEE that is used commonly. So we have an app to do that. We have an app for statistical process control. So in order to be sure that the process is operated correctly, and this way you improve quality, you reduce waste, etc. And we offer such kind of set of application, including also what we call advanced analytics, where we leverage AI and statistics without the burden of knowing these tools to support business experts to solve their process. So the idea behind that is very simple: is you have a workflow that is assisting the business experts to answer a specific question, and so he can do it without being a data expert. So this is a sample of the kind of application we can deliver.
So are these prepackaged applications that are ready to go? Are they configurable, or how do you think about that?
Yes, for sure. It's an all-in-one solution, and everything, including the data model, can be set up just by configuration. To give you an idea, when we talk about widespread use of data within the organization, is often this data model layers relies on data experts or IT experts. Here the idea, as it is standard with data models that speaks to a business experts, and the fact that it's fully no code, it can be handed to either process engineer or production engineers. You don't need data experts for this part. So clearly for the apps layer, it's really no code. self-service application, but also the data structuration layer is no code in that sense.
That's fascinating. Now but before we started recording, we talked about something I was fascinated in, is that there are you could actually code in some other languages, including Python.
Yeah.
So I was ready to ask, or ready to state, that one of the criticisms of apps is that they tend to be very constrained and prepackaged, and that maybe there's a limited number of configuration parameters. And I would ask you, so where would I use an external programming language like Python?
That's very good questions. In fact, what I mentioned as business apps, you're right, they are prepackaged apps with some specific usage. So they tend to address, I would say, 90% of the requirements, the needs of the end user. You're right, for some specific use case, typically anomaly detection or real-time preconization or optimization, you will need to write some Python code which is specifically designed for your use case. So, having said that, we thought about what were the challenges for someone who wants to implement such kind of Python model. We identified 2 points. First point is, when you start your project, you need to have a data set with a proper granularity in order to build your model.
Right.
This is a burden. Usually in a project, building the data set is something between 40 to 60% of the time required. And it's low added value. With our solution, as we have all the data well structured, you can build your data set in few hours. So you can really accelerate the construction of the data set you will use to build your Python model.
Okay.
The second burden is, when you have developed your model, it works well, you need to deploy it at scale. And then you have another issue. That means when you want to use this data model, this Python model, you need to streamline all the data to this model, but transform to correspond to the input features of your model. Then you recover the output of the model. What do you do with that? You need to give some feedbacks to the user of the solution. So we offer a way to implement. You take your Python model, you put it into our solution. Then we manage all the scheduling of the execution of this model. We bring to it, thanks to this contextualization engine, we bring the good features into the model, and then we recover the data, put it back in the contextualization engine, and then it's available to all the application of the solution. So you see, it's really...
That's very comprehensive and fascinating as well.
And this is often a burden. That means we saw many companies who try to develop this kind of thing. They achieve a very good model, but in the end, they were not able to deploy it.
You know, what I like that's unstated is that in the early career stages of new engineers to the marketplace, no longer are they interested in C++ or C#, but they want to code in Python. And to have that be a central feature is very good.
Yeah, and I think it's really a key point. Is really Python is being the standard language for many applications now, and it's a tool. So, as you said, every engineer should have Python as a tool in its toolbox.
Absolutely. Let's turn to what applications do you address? So let's perhaps just start. Are you targeting the process control industry or any other industry, or is it more of a broad approach?
So mainly we address process manufacturing industry. So we are present in mine and metallurgy, chemical industry, food and beverage, some utility and energy production, material production, mainly process manufacturing, when you transform raw material into something.
Okay.
We don't do anything around assembly or thing like this. So we are very specific.
Okay.
And to be honest, we are specific because it's required to have, if you want to have a standard data model, you need to be specific to a certain type of industry. So we do that, and for this industry, we address many of their challenges, as I mentioned previously. And currently, I think we can see some new challenges emerging, particularly in the environmental side and sustainability, where there is more and more regulation, and there is more and more regulation, but also more and more pressure from their customers. To provide insights on what is the real environmental impact of the product they deliver.
That's good. I know here at ARC, we've done quite a bit of work documenting the development of, say, digital product passports, particularly in the EU and the impacts there. Let me ask, so I understand inputting of the IT and OT data in a process control environment. What about support of some of the other external data sources from the supply chain, from the weather, from other things that might impact the process?
Yeah, you're totally right. Open data is a key source. Typically, you can have in open data weather data, but also data from your energy supplier. So this is important. We still don't see so much interoperability between suppliers and customers in the supply chain, but I'm convinced this is a key point, because if you want to optimize your process, if you just have few information about the product you buy to go in your process, it's difficult to know whether it's the cause of some instability or thing like this. And
Indeed.
Currently, it's a big issue, because as we use more and more raw material coming from agricultural, I would say not chemical based, but coming from how to say green chemistry or thing like this, you have more viability. The same with recycled materials. So if you don't have a good knowledge of the property of these raw materials, it's difficult to pilot your process. So you need more information from your supplier in order to be able to adapt your production to the viability of your raw material.
You mentioned the word sustainability. Excuse me. Are there applications that focus in sustainability, either like plastic recycling or mining or
in fact,
like that?
Sustainability is giving you more constraints. The first one is to have a good idea of what is your environmental impact. And one of the issues is process manufacturing companies are able to make like a life cycle analysis based on a 1 year production, so they have average data, etc. But if you want to improve, if you want to understand the viability of your footprint, you need to have something at a much more granular level, like production order, products. So here it's where we come in, because with all the data we collect, which are very granular data, we have the data from the sensor every 15 seconds. We have, typically the energy sensors. We have data from the traceability, from the genealogy of the production. So with that, we're able to reconstruct a footprint per production order, per product. So you can see the viability depending on which equipment you produce, on when you produce, which raw material you use, and then you can improve. Because if you have just one value, one figure every year, you will do nothing with that.
Very good. What do you see for the future?
I think for the future, I see many things. First, leveraging more and more AI, but in a way that it's transparent for the user. Secondly, is more and more use case around sustainability. And to conclude, I think this is an ingredient you mentioned. It's interoperability, openness of solution, in order that information is flowing freely between the different systems within the company, but also outside the company with the customers, the suppliers, and the other stakeholders.
I agree. I think even as individual consumers, trust and transparency is becoming more and more important to us about the school our kids go to, where our taxes go to, the food we eat, and just about everything else we do. We're just about out of time. Do you have any additional comments for our audience today?
I think we had a wide range of topics, so thank you very much.
Well, Mathieu, thank you very much. It's been great having you as a guest here on the Sustainability Podcast. Again, our guest today has been Mathieu Cura of Optimistic. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank
Hope
you
to
very
see
much.
you again
See
soon.
you.